Knox City Greyhounds, it's time to get serious. There is nobody better, and there is no other high school six-man football team that is hungrier than these guys. Thailand, eat well, Jesus Rodriguez. Put on the helmet. Time to get physical. It's time to dominate. We are by far the absolute number one best in the world.
If he looks familiar, it's because he used to star in that show Rugrats. That's Chad, and he makes motivational videos to fire up his beloved high school football team, the Knox City Greyhounds, which appears to be in a high radiation area of Texas. High school football is a religion in Texas because anything is better than watching Tony Romo shit the bed season after season. If a high school football game is the most interesting thing to do on a Friday night, you should burn your town to the ground. It's the worst version of football. The quarterbacks can't throw 10 yards, the running backs are white, and the only action worth watching is happening underneath the bleachers. No country cares more about high school athletics than America. That's because caring about our test scores would be a real downer. I didn't play high school football because I didn't have stupid parents. President Obama said he wouldn't let his child play football. But if that kid had Michelle's shoulders, he'd be an absolute beast. The truth is, I respect Chad's deep, almost unnatural love of the game. That's why I flew that human can opener to LA for this week's Celebrity Profile. Are you ready for some high school football? Welcome to High School Game Day, brought to you by Clearasil and Planned Parenthood. With me as always, Chad. Chad, got a great week of football ahead of us.
I'm looking forward to it.
How long have you been watching high school football?
I've been watching high school football since 2011.
I thought you were a lifelong fan.
Oh. Well, I am now.
Where are you from, Chad?
I am from Knox City.
Did you grow up here?
No, I grew up in Haskell.
And where?
Haskell.
Haskell?
Haskell, Texas.
Now explain to me the difference between six-man and 11-man.
Six-man is that if you get 45 points on your opponent, the game's over. In 11-man, you can get like 100,000 points. It doesn't matter.
Do they have a full cheerleading squad, or is it a three-person cheerleading squad?
It's full.
Okay. Why don't you give us all a little history lesson about Knox City and their rivalry game?
The Throckmorton Greyhounds and Knox City Greyhounds are the Greyhounds. It's two dogs, two beasts going against each other. And it is pride on the line every single time. And Knox City have gotten close, but they've never been able to beat Throckmorton, ever.
How many years has this game been going on?
I've been following it for 3 years. It's been going on for a lot longer than that.
So it's been going on longer than 3 years.
Longer than 3 years.
So talk about when you started making these shout-out videos.
When I made the shout-out video, it was a big, big, big hit. And the players, they loved it. They watched it several times, and they were more ready than ever that season just because of that video. So
you're saying that you had a bigger influence on the high school football program than probably the coaches. Fair?
Well, fair. Yeah, fair.
Has anybody ever dumped Gatorade on top of you?
No, never. Never.
Did you play any football?
I nearly did.
You nearly did?
I nearly did. And that wasn't my fault either. Back when I was going to Haskell.
Back when you were going to where? High school?
Haskell.
Haskell, okay.
Yes, Haskell.
Gotcha.
Yes. I suited up, and I guess because of my shyness.
You're shy?
I was shy back then, yes. But I suited up, and the coach took one look at me and said, no, you're not going to do it.
Did you graduate high school?
No.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You can go back to high school. You can play 1 year.
Exactly.
That's what Knox City needs. Do you like watching children play any other sports?
No.
Any of the kids get scared of you?
Some.
Do you follow grown-up football?
NFL, yes.
Who's your team?
Dallas.
You think the Dolphins will ever go back to the Super Bowl?
If they try hard enough. It's how badly do they want it? How hungry are they?
When's the last time you were hungry?
5 minutes ago.
Are you worried about your weight?
Yes.
What are you at right now?
I am at 10 pounds lighter than I was.
What were you before? You want me to guess it?
Go ahead.
250.
Close.
Huh.
3:30.
Okay, that really wasn't close.
Now it's time for Chad's Taste of the Town.
That's my favorite segment, Chad. You are going to love this, too. We have an authentic fiestada from the Knox City cafeteria.
Ooh.
Go ahead, sink your tooth into that. I'm told there's over 750 milligrams of sodium in one serving.
Oh, yeah. Here we go, baby.
How is she?
Delicious.
What's the best football movie you've ever seen?
Titans.
Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans.
You almost forgot it.
Yes.
What do you do with yourself the 40 weeks a year high school football isn't in season?
I'm always thinking of the shout out. It's just around the corner.
And now it's time for today's pick. First up, we have Astronaut High School, my alum, the Fighting War Eagles, versus the Titusville Terriers. Who do you think is more famous, me or Chris Collinsworth? Both graduates from Astronaut High School.
The other.
You think Chris is more famous?
Yeah.
Astronaut is going to miss DeAndre McCray under center. But Trevor Suzy is a sharp kid with a monster arm. Cannon. I like the War Eagles at home.
Great pick, Daniel, but it's not easy breaking down Jalil Davis. It'll be a battle up front. But I think Astronaut takes home the Henry Hudson Trophy.
Oh, from your tooth to God's ears? I hope so. Now for the granddaddy of them all. Knox City versus Throckmorton. Greyhound versus Greyhound. Very confusing for an inter-city rivalry. I personally will be picking Throckmorton because it's just fun to say. Don't know anything about either of the teams. Personally, I think six-man football is stupid. But Throckmorton, who you got?
Knox City! Throckmorton's had your number year after year after year. Who's hungrier? Who's hungrier? Who wants it more?
Who are you going to pick?
Yeah!
Oh! Okay, now, is that a Knox City Greyhound or a Throckmorton Greyhound? I don't really care as long as it covers your face. I'm teasing. All right, listen, I'm going to go grab one of those nutritious fiestadas from the cafeteria. As we all know, Chad here is not legally allowed to be near the field when the kids come out.
I'm doing my part and listening on the radio.
Enjoy Football Friday. We got Knox City and Throckmorton coming up next.
Greyhounds are really putting it to Throckmorton. If only their star player hadn't mysteriously disappeared yesterday after practice. The Greyhounds take a knee, the clock ticks down, and that is it. That's the ball game. Knox City has beaten Throckmorton for the first time ever. 59-0. It is a miracle.
Clear eyes. 1-2. Can't lose.
All right, Chad. My name's Eddie Lasoya. I'm a 1987 graduate from Knox City Greyhounds, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, see if you could tell me a little history of Knox City.
The history of Knox City. Well, I'm not really all that familiar with the actual history of Knox City because my mother and I moved down here back in 1999. And I've known it since that time. But it's a very nice, friendly community. People willing to talk to you, give you hugs and whatnot. Because I guarantee you, when I moved from Haskell to Knox City back in 1999, I'll tell you what, it kind of freaked me out how, because I knew how people were back in Haskell at that time. And then I moved here, and they're friendly people. And like, what type of Twilight Zone did I just step into here? You know, and it took a while to finally get warm and, and used to that. Because people were like, how are you? Can I pray for you? How are you doing today?
Right.
And I would look at them like, what type of alien are you? But it's a very nice, well community. I'm very glad I moved here. Go for it.
Exactly. Can you tell me a little bit about blowing up and ended up in LA? Can you kind of throw that out a little bit to us?
Yes, absolutely, man. That's even funnier.
Have you ever been to LA?
No, not at that time.
Okay.
Not my first appearance on Todd. I've never even been on an airplane.
Okay.
Never been on an airplane. Let alone never been to LA. And so I got up one morning and I checked the phone, And I had this Facebook message from Tosh Point It says, hey, we're the television show Tosh Point We've seen your videos. We want you to be on the show. If you're interested, if so, call this number, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh. Yeah, is this a rib? Is this because we're after my first the shout out that went viral that started the whole ball game going, the whole train rolling, and whatnot. I got an email from TV Kimmel saying call this number, we will book you on the show, but it didn't happen. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, is this like the same thing? Is this like, is this a rib? So about 3 hours later, I finally called my brother up and I said, this is the craziest thing I've ever had. Let me read it to you. And I read it to him, and he said, shut up and call. Really? Hang up and call. Okay. So I hung him up, and I called him, and I talked to Andrew for actually like an hour.
Wow.
And basically what this is, going through the background, going through the history of Knox City and me and everything else. And I'm like, okay, let's book this bad boy. And at the time I had church camp coming up, so it took a little longer to get there, but when we finally got it booked and got there, I'm just like, whoa. Here I am, this guy from this small Texas town in this enormous big city. But the biggest city I've ever been in is either Fort Worth or Dallas.
Okay.
And now I'm LA. I'm in Los Angeles, California, the home of Hollywood, the home of stars.
Yes.
Where the magic happens.
And I'm sitting here next to the magic.
And I tell you what, Daniel Toschi was an absolute gentleman.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting there. I'm on the set. I got everything on. Mm-hmm. It's like 85 degrees, and I'm gloating. I'm soaking it all in because I'm like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Everybody at home's in the 30s, and I'm over here, and I'm like 85 degrees. Yeah. Hey, baby. And suddenly I hear this voice, hello, Mr. Mcghee, how you doing? And I turn around, and it's Daniel Tosh coming up on the set. I thought, do not panic. Because here's this big comedian, this big star.
Yeah.
Coming up to me, and I'm starstruck all of a sudden. So we shake hands, and he hits me on the shoulder like, you know what? We're going to BS this thing. We're going to do this. If there's anything you don't like, don't worry about it.
Go with the
cut
flow.
it. But we'll probably do it like 2 hours or whatnot. And we'll just go from there. And it was just like, from there, it just went, it was just like speed. So it's just like, it's so weird having the scenes just come and change it, your outfit, the makeup artist, tapping you on the face, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in the element here, I'm in the zone.
Yeah, exactly.
You look hot, but leave me alone. And I said that to her too, you look fine, but leave me alone. Because I was in the zone, and it was funny, She almost fell on the floor laughing, but they all did.
Well, Chad, I want to tell you that this is a pretty awesome moment right now, and I know that this is more on a serious note, but I finally got a chance to meet you, and I think highly of you, I know that we've messaged each other and on Facebook, and see how you're doing, and you don't even know who I am. And in football games, I'm messaging you like I know you, saying, hey, what's the score? What? Then you're telling me, hey, we're down this, and there's a possibility we're going to win this game, and then Knox City pulls it out, and it's
Absolutely.
like, and then there goes Chad again with the shout out.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to shout out to you that I think that's pretty awesome, man.
Awesome. And I'm sure you've seen my weekly show during the football season, Greyhound Run.
Yeah, it's upgraded. It went from like, you started, and then it just kind of upgraded to like the NFL background and all that. The fireworks and all that. That's pretty cool.
Oh,
man.
yeah. I mean, I'm always thinking outside the box.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
What can I do differently this year?
Right.
And whatnot.
I wanted to tell you that also that, this interview's for my son, Andres, and wanted to thank you for that. You know, it's like something he's trying to use for his Texas Tech project. And I have one more thing to ask you, and if you could just give a shout out to the Texas Tech Red Raiders, and I'm going to hand you the mic, and we'll close out with that, okay?
All right. All right, this is the shout out, a shout out to the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Who is the best? Who is the greatest? Who is the absolute top-notch team in all of sports? When you have it, it's not a no. You don't know you have it. You understand you have it, and nothing can beat you. Nothing can get you down, beat you down. Nothing can take you down. You are going to be dominant. You're going to be successful, and no team, regardless of rank or record, is going to put you out of business. You're going to put them out of business, and you're going to put them out completely, but out of the playoffs, if you know what I mean by that. So Texas Tech Red Raiders, you understand one thing right now. You are the greatest, you are the best, and to be the best, you got to beat the best, and to beat the best, you are greater than the best. So you go out there, you dominate, annihilate, and assassinate them all night long, and do not look back. Take no prisoners, just take them out. Woo! Good, baby,
that
good.
was awesome, dude. That was great. What's your take? Wow. Should we watch it or what?